Oh, hey guys, Forest School. Jamie here. I'm just sitting, watching some frogs, my friends. Oh, and I'm actually on a farm out by Lake Ontario. Really beautiful, regenerative farm. And regenerative means that all the little foods and systems that we do on this place are in service for the next stage of, say, growing something. So food that is regenerative might be making the soil healthier as we grow the food. And there's all these really cool different ways of doing that. And let's walk out here. I'll show you a little bit. This farm is really beautiful. This is just part of it here. Really wild. It doesn't look like some of the farms you might be seeing as you pass by, growing corn or just one type of plant. So there's a big diversity of plants. A lot of different plants here. So many, I can't even keep track. I'm learning new ones every day. And the owner of this property, while I was here, just said, watch out for poison ivy. And that's a really good tip. And if you may already know about poison ivy, and if you don't, that's what's going to be the plant of the day today. We're going to talk about poison ivy. We'll go see if we can find some, because it's really important when you're out in the woods or just hiking around. If you can identify poison ivy, you will save yourself a lot of itching and that sort of stuff. So let's go find some. We'll see if we can, and take a little walk here. Wow, so all these little birds, all the tall grasses too are really great habitats for birds and insects. All these flowers. Yeah, so all these tall grasses, they create a habitat for all these little pollinators and birds. And it's kind of nice to keep this long and provide that, and that in itself can be a regenerative thing. So. So when you're looking for poison ivy, some things, yeah, you're good right here, we're good here. Some things that you will want to look for are leaves of 3, leave them be, and there are some lookalikes sometimes that we're not always sure if that is. One of the lookalikes is something called Virginia creeper, and it's a really easy to actually tell a Virginia creeper right here. You want to look at this one. So it kind of has similar leaves as poison ivy, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaves on that, and that is Virginia creeper. So we know that one's safe to touch. It's okay. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So this is poison ivy right here. So here's a poison ivy leaf. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 leaves. And so the leaves are also not sawtooth. They are still jagged and pointy at the ends, but they don't look like a sawtooth style. The center leaf has a long stem. You can see right there, the longest stem is in the center leaf, and the two on the sides are going to be much more short. It's a little hard to see without getting too close, but when you're looking at the stems of poison ivy, they can be a little hairy. And so right along there, a little hairy if you look closely. Now this is poison ivy as a shrub. And so a shrub, it's kind of like a little plant that's just growing. As you see here, this is what we could call a shrub. But poison ivy can also grow as a vine. And so they can be sort of viney and grow up trees and stuff like that. So this is a vine here, but this is not poison ivy. This is Virginia creeper again, but still with a vine. So that's poison ivy. Now, what makes it called poison ivy? Poison ivy has an oil compound in it that when rubbed against on your skin or even clothing or your pet, it will stay on that. Whatever, if it stays on you, if it rubs on your skin, it will stay on your skin. And if it gets on your clothes, it will stay on those clothes. You're gonna wanna wash them as soon as possible separately. And if it gets on your skin, if you're able to wash with soap and cold water as soon as possible, that will help reduce potential itchiness. And so for people, poison ivy is really not something that we're too excited about. If we rub up against it, it can really make our camping trip or hike not too enjoyable of a time. But some animals actually do enjoy the poison ivy plant. Birds will eat the berries, and so poison ivy does make a berry, which you can see over the summer. It's kind of a light green to white looking berry, so if you see those, you can also potentially know that that's poison ivy. Birds who eat it, they won't get poison ivy. They'll eat the berries and digest them, and as they travel and go elsewhere, they may poop them out and spread the seeds. And so that is one way that poison ivy can potentially be spread through birds. Poison ivy can also change colors in the fall and the winter. It can turn into a yellowish or red. So poison ivy is not always going to be a green looking plant there. So we'll zoom up on this one more time just to get a good look at that. As you can see, long stem, sort of jagged edges, pointy tip, leaves of 3, hairiness on the stem. So if you ever see this, you're not sure in the stem or the vine, it looks a little hairy. Definitely want to avoid that. And there are some lookalikes as well. Virginia creeper, right here, right there. Virginia creeper again has the 5 leaves. So hopefully that's helpful to avoid, and I hope you all have an awesome rest of the day. Thanks for watching.